do want to talk about Hindenburg's report on Supermicro because you have a conviction call there. The delay in, presenting the annual report, how much of that is really a red flag, you think, for the business?
Oh, it is a red flag. I mean, Hindenburg interviewed ex-Supermicro employees, had a lot of innuendos. They did have to pay a securities fine many years ago. And the main thing that Hindenburg did is they didn't name anything specific. They implied that Supermicro's sales force is so aggressive that maybe they're booking sales a little bit too fast. So the question is, if a salesman books something this quarter and it delivers in the fourth quarter, is that proper accounting? So I think what Supermicro wants to do is they want to debunk any of the claims that Hindenburg made, which weren't specific. They were innuendos. And then I think they have to come out and revise their guidance. Right now, the analyst community is estimating that they're going to have 212% sales growth next quarter, which is truly ridiculous, okay? So I don't care if they have 140% sales growth, 180%. Just revise your guidance and let's move on. And the stock's a very risky buy now. Fortunately, it's at barely, it's under 9 times forecasted earnings. So I think it will bounce, but Supermicro needs a PR department, to be candid with you. And they got to put some spit and polish on this and give us some better guidance.
Here we have the current stock market update for Supermicro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Before we begin, if you find these educational materials to be helpful in your trading, please remember to click the like and subscribe buttons and leave your thoughts below in the comments section so that other traders will be able to find this information more easily on the platform. So here in this prior video, we can hear a bit of a bullish argument. I think it's a bit of a weak argument. He says innuendo 2 times. He mispronounces the word 2 times, and he doesn't really say why he thinks that these accusations of accounting manipulation at Supermicro Computer should simply be glossed over. He sort of says just release new reports and move on and things like that. But the problem is that with this stock is that a lot of these accusations appear to be systemic in nature. In other words, people are sort of let go for wrongdoing, then they're brought back, even though it's not really clear that they've changed, their tactics and things like that. So I'm not necessarily saying that Supermicro is not a buy at current levels. I just think that this prior investor or analyst really makes an unconvincing argument, while he's mispronouncing words that he's trying to use. So currently what we're dealing with here is a price low that is starting to re-threaten the prior lows. He seems to think that there's a bounce that's coming. But as things currently stand, in the prior analysis video that I did on this stock, I did suggest that there was really no support in this area here for there to be a bounce. And we're starting to see that here. We did see a little bit of a price movement into roughly 475.42, but we're already starting to see selling pressure come into play here with the daily lows coming in at 419.74. So it's a very significant reversal here on a short-term basis. Here we're looking at the 4-hour price chart. So this is a bit of an intermediate term time frame. If we were to sort of drill down into the shorter term time frames, this downside reversal would look much larger. So this doesn't look like we're seeing a convincing bounce from these levels. That's not to say that we will not see a bounce here going forward. I just don't really hear much of an argument so far, which suggests that these accusations of manipulation should just simply be glossed over. I think that Supermicro Computer needs to make a better effort to explain exactly what their position is and why these accounting discrepancies occurred in the first place. And I don't think we've seen that just yet. I think that if we see that, then and the market accepts the explanation, then I think we could start to see some buying on dips here. But as things currently stand, we're really not seeing that from the company at the moment. So right now, the major level to the downside does come in at 395.16. With sharp prices right now trading at 434.07, there really isn't much distance here between that price high and that price low. And the main thing that I will be watching for in this price chart will be the daily close. I think this is going to be fairly significant at this point. Because it's sort of going to show the market exactly how sentiment is reacting here and whether or not the market really believes that these current movements lower are truly an opportunity to start to buy the stock. If we, as I said in the prior video, if we do see a break below this 395 level, the stock could be in some fairly significant trouble here going forward. The first major level of support that you can point to really comes at this prior breakout point, which would have been seen during the January 19 trading session. So essentially, this is right where the stock was trading around the $360 mark. So this would have been an area of resistance that would now be expected to work as a support zone. This is a major breakout point here, so that could be an area of support. I wouldn't exactly sell the stock right now if you're currently long the stock, but I'm also not saying that these current movements lower are finished. I didn't say that in the last video, and I'm also not going to be saying that in this video, because I just don't see any near-term areas of support that are likely to catch this stock. As you can see here, if we drill out a bit, there's a lot of empty space around here. There really isn't much, in the way of a Fibonacci retracement zone or, a moving average support zone or anything like that. There's really nothing in this area. There's no historical support to be found right around here. So, all of this does point to further declines. If we look to the relative strength index reading, we can also see that, the majority of the evidence here is still balanced on the downside direction. Of course, that's not to say that all of the evidence, and I'll explain what I mean by that. So specifically, what we're looking at here is a broader condition of bearishness, a condition of bearish momentum, which has been in place ever since the stock posted its highs at 1078. Anybody that's familiar with the stock knows that would not be the all-time high for this stock. We did see highs coming in at 1229. So essentially what this means is that there was a bearish divergence condition as those all-time price highs were being formed. In other words, that price high was not sustainable, and it's not surprising then to see what actually happened in this stock. We did see a fairly significant price movement lower, all the way down to roughly 680 per share. These lows came in at 671. So, not surprising at all to see a movement like that. It's a bit drastic. You could say that the size of the movement would have been surprising, but the fact that those highs themselves were not sustainable should not at all be surprising. On the positive side, what I can say here is that we are seeing a little bit of a shorter term bullish divergence condition that is starting to emerge here. As we can see, share prices are making new lows relative to the 478 lows that were seen previously. If we look at the relative strength index, however, we're starting to see some upward movement here and some upward trend direction, which does suggest that a smaller short-term bullish divergence condition is starting to emerge. So I do think that the stock has the potential to bounce here, but I think a lot of this is going to rest on the company's ability to sort of quell these accusations and to explain exactly what happened. I mean, accusations of accounting manipulation, that's just about the worst thing that you can do to a stock. There's not many worse things that you can do. It's right near the top of the list of the worst possible things you could do to damage share prices. So it really is the company's responsibility at this point to explain what happened and explain how they're going to prevent this type of thing from happening again. So here's the current market outlook for Supermicro Computer Incorporated, stock ticker SMCI. Our high value trading strategies membership is currently available for a limited time for only $9.99 per month. These high conviction investment strategies are characterized by superior risk to reward metrics that target massive market beating returns over time. Join now to outperform the market. Lock in this special introductory rate of just $9.99 per month for the entire lifetime of your membership and start trading stocks with the pros.